Proaim sent me their jib arm. This is the 18-foot version. There are different sizes, but they work pretty much the same. I'm going to just give you a quick demo of how to set it up and what I'm going to use it for. The arm comes with a nice solid stand, and it comes in pieces which you have to then put together. It comes with all the necessary tools and bits and pieces you need to join them up. Alright, first I'm going to attach part number 4 onto the post. So to do that, this piece has to sit vertically, like so, and I have to line up the holes so that this sits parallel to the main bar, so it goes on the highest of those 3 holes there. Then I use these plastic washers. First we put that through, then we put a plastic washer there. Then we can feed this in there, and then I put another plastic washer in between this piece of metal here and there, just to keep it so it moves nicely. That's not, there we go. Once that is through, put another plastic washer on the outside and simply bolt on the end bolt, and then add that bolt in the end. There we go. Then this whole piece can be mounted on the stand. Tighten up all your bolts, but you want to make sure that this still moves nice and easy. That's looking good. This is the rear piece that the weights go on. This one attaches slightly differently to the rest. Take this section with the wire coming out the top and you slot it in like so and line up the holes. Then you put your 4 bolts back in and use the provided Allen key to screw them in nice and tight. There we go. Good. Done. Okay. Alright, so then each of these sections needs to be attached in the same manner. They come with bolts. You have to take 2 bolts off the lower, larger part and 1 bolt off the top part. Then this piece just slots on like so, and you're going to then align the top part so everything slots in nicely, and then you keep pushing it until you have these holes in alignment. Each of these bolts comes with a washer and a nut, a nylock nut for the other side. So once you've got it in, you just put the nut on, screw the bolt in, and make sure you tighten it nicely. There we go. Now it's just the little one at the top. Always put the head of the bolt facing the outside, otherwise it's a bit tricky to get the Allen key in. There we go. Done. Okay. The next section attaches in the same manner. The next piece on, align that, push everything into place, stick the bolts in, and secure them. There's my dogs. Good. Okay, the final section has got the cable attached to it, but it attaches in exactly the same way to the jib arm. Okay. The next step is to bring this cable, unwind it, run it over this pulley and attach it to the cable from the other side, and then use this tensioner to make it nice and tight. Doesn't need to be super tight. There we go. So for obvious reasons, it doesn't ship with weights. But it does come with this bar, which can be used to attach standard weights to the rear of the arm. If you have them, and then you can add your weights to this piece. But I don't like extra weight, so I just have a couple of sandbags that I'm going to fill with rocks and use that as a counterbalance. There we go. That's one side. Let's go find some other ones. So I've filled up the bags with rocks, which I'm then using as counterbalances over here. Let's have a look at the hand tilt head now. This is the Proaim Junior hand tilt head. Comes in a nice soft bag with everything nicely arranged. It's a pretty simple head. Let me just pull it out quickly. I like actually, it's not a gimbal by any means, but it's just a simple head with a brushed motor for the pan and for the tilt, and connections for power and control. And it comes with a nice big controller. So first we're going to attach the hand tilt head. It comes with thumb screws. It makes it a bit easier. Take off the washer, send them up through the bottom, and then put them into the mounting hole. Thanks. Washer on the top, and screw it down like so. Tighten that up. There we go. Tight. And now it is secure. Let's do the next step. This pin locks this vertical in place so that the bracket on the end of the arm stays horizontal as you move up and down. So to power and control the head, you need this cable, which goes from a 4-pin XLR to one of these connectors. So you attach the cable to the head, and then you can run it along, making sure it's not going to get stuck anywhere. The cable then plugs into the controller in the back here. You can see, just have to line up that groove with the little dimple in there, push that in, secure it, and then the whole thing is powered in that socket there, which I'll do now. Just going to mount this up here for now. So for power, Proaim provides an AC adapter, which is 120 to 240 volts and a cable. They even thoughtfully provide a little worldwide plug set. But for now I'm just going to power it via a 12 volt V-lock battery, and they provide this cable which can go into the battery like so, and then we can plug this an extension and plug that in there, and then this plugs in here like so, and that should give us power. You can turn it on here, light comes on. Pan and tilt damping determines how quickly it comes to a halt and how quickly it starts moving when you push on the joystick. When I've maxed the damping, when I let go of the joystick, it keeps moving and comes to a nice slow halt. If I take the damping down and I let go of the joystick, it stops immediately. The speed is adjusted here, so we can have our pan speed and tilt speed really slow, or we can max them out like that. So now to mount the camera on the pan tilt head, we loosen these screws over here next to the motor, and then you can actually disengage the motor to balance the camera properly. Take your camera, mount it. I do supply a bolt, but I'm just going to use my standard mounting bolts. Place the camera and get it roughly centered. I know that with this lens, this camera balances roughly there, so I'm going to center that point like so, and then I'm going to secure the camera on nicely. Then you can release the motor and let the camera go and see how it falls. It's going forwards, so I'm going to bring this motor back up, loosen my mounts and drop it down again. I don't think this needs to be as accurate as with balancing a gimbal. You just got to get it roughly so it's not straining the motors too much. There we go, so that's pretty much balanced. Now you can re-engage the motor and tighten up these little screws.